uncut, unedited. All right, people. This is where we tell the truth
And what?
and shame the devil. This is where we tell the truth
And what?
and shame the devil. Come on in, people. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Man, my hair getting too long, people. I got to do something about it. All right, come on in, people. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. This is Live Uncut. I am so glad that you're my special guest today. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Just come on in. This is Live Uncut, unedited, people. Come on in. Make sure you share this video because we're knocking them upside the head. We're not playing with nobody no more, people. Listen, we have to do what we have to do, people. We're not playing with none of them. None of them. All right. We're unapologetic. This is wartime. This is wartime. Where that Bible at? Oh, yeah, I see the Bible down. I might have to need it. Pick that book up and do something tonight. Well, come on in, people. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Come on in, people. Come on in. Make sure you share the video. Share the video. Share it in your message. Share it in your, I don't care what you do with it, just share it. Share it to your page. Share it to your messenger so we can get this thing going. We want to get it. We want to get it going, people. We want to get it again. The race is getting heated up, people. It's getting heated. It's getting heated, people. It's getting heated. It's getting heated, people. Come on in, live, uncut, unedited. You already know what it is.
What is it?
Live, uncut, unedited. All right. We're going to be in on 69th and Green in Inglewood this coming Wednesday from 10 to 11. Meet and greet with Brandon Johnson. You guys are welcome to come if you like. Definitely, we want to come and show support. We want to shake his hand, and maybe if we have a little time, maybe we could ask a couple of questions or something. But this live, uncut, unedited. Come on in, people. I need at least 100 people. I'm going in with 100 people. I'm at 56 right now, 54 right now on Facebook. So I need 100 people. So we all start doing some sharing now. Start doing some sharing. Sharing is caring, all right? Sharing is caring. And we want to talk about some things here, people. This is definitely live, uncut, unedited, people. Come on in. Come on in. I love being black. Black love, black unity, black power. Race first. I tell you, come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, in. I tell you, this is live, uncut, unedited, and this is where we tell the truth
And what?
and shame the devil. That's what we do here, people. Nothing else but telling the truth and shame the devil. I'm telling you, boy. Come on with it, people. All right, all you got to do is share the video. We have 62 people right now. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Live, uncut, unedited. And I'm telling you, I'm going to get ready sharing. I'm sending some notifications out. And I want you people to come on in, man. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I love being black. All right. 59 people. Come on in, people. We got to do what we got to do. We need 100 people to come in now. I'm not begging for no money now. I just need some attention right now. Some people that's willing to listen so we can get this. We on the campaign road. And we got a lot of crime going on out there tonight. 71st and Wood. Over there on 111 right off Doty at Walmart. There's a lot of crime going on, people. A lot going on amongst us. I tell you, you can put police on every corner, and I guarantee you will not be able to stop crime. I guarantee you that. I'm willing to tell anybody that. You're going to put police on every corner. We're not going to police our way out of this, people. We're not going to police our way out of crime. It's just not going to happen, people. Crime is $1 billion industry. The same people that want to talk about crime is putting the guns and drugs out here. Come on, talk to me, somebody. Come on, talk to me. Live, uncut, unedited, people. All right. All right, people, I'm here. I'm going to give it acknowledge some of my guests, but I want to send some notifications out to some of my people. And you know how Facebook be tripping. All right. Come on in, people. Share the video. Crime is big business. What's up, Big Drew? What up, man? I see you. Crystal Marshbanks, I see you. Deborah Singleton. Eric, what's going on, Eric? All right. Marinian Lewis, I see you. Keisha Nance Fisher. Sharice Wright, I see you. Marcella Dunn, I see you. My Life in the Shy. All right, I see y'all. Come on, people. This is live uncut. Christiana, all right, I see you. I see you. Jarita, what's going on? Jarita, I'm going to be pulling down strongholds tonight. I'm going to be knocking them upside the head. I tell you. Deborah Singleton. D Boss, what's up? What's going on? What's going on? D, my buddy from Texas. Reginald Moore, my other good buddy. Lewis Ramsey, what's going on? What's up? What's that? Kinslow, I see you. I see Too Blessed to Be Stressed. Diana, I see you. Crow, I see you. I see you. I see you, people. This Mohammed, what's up, brother? I see you. I see you. I see you. Tanya White, Donna Williams, come on, Donna. I see you. D Boss, I see you. Virginia Beasley, I see you. I see you, boy. I tell you, we're gonna have a time tonight. And the Kevin Thomas family, I see you, brother. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. All right, I see you, people. They coming on this place. I tell you, people. If you don't learn that from here, boys, shame on you. Jason Tinsley, okay, Lene Smith. All right, Steven, just leaving Muskegon, Michigan, from my cousin's funeral on my way home. My condolence, my brother. My condolence to you, brother. I tell you, because there's something that we would not be able to get used to, and that thing is called death. It's gonna come to us. It's going to come to our doorstep. I tell you, how many people I got on here now? Let me see. 83. Come on, people. I need y'all to share it. I need you guys to share it. Live, uncut, unedited. Come on in. Come on and share it. I need 100 people before I get started. I tell you, people, it's what I need. I need 100 people before I get started. And we can get it rolling. As the young folks say, let's get it cracking. That's what the young folks say. I tell you. Samuel, what's up, man? I see you. Nathan, what's up? We got to tell the truth and
tell the truth
and what?
And shame the devil.
That's all we want to do. Sylvia Stone, that's right. Carla Evans, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to share it on my page now. And let me turn it down. It's a lot going on out here, people. And I want y'all to know that I don't want y'all to be discouraged. Listen, faith is the substance of things hoped for. Carla Evans, I see you. All right, Kim, what's going on, Kim? Dionelle, I see you. I see you. Vicky, what's going on? I see you. We should be at 100 by now, shouldn't 77? Oh, Lord, y'all done fell off. I done called your name. Y'all done left the chat. Oh, Lord. We got to do something about that. Y'all getting all this free game and y'all don't want to share the video. I'm blessing y'all with some good information. Good information. I tell you, good information. Good information. Giving y'all some good information. Some of you guys was undecided when y'all first started listening to me. Now you have made a choice. Matter if it's Brandon or Paul Vallis, but I hope it was Paul Vallis though. This is live, uncut, unedited, people. Come on in. Come on in. I tell you, the world is watching us, people. The whole world is watching us, people. They're watching us. They are watching us. And listen, they want to see, because we listen, we're not trying to go back to the 50s. We're not going at police officers. Y'all not taking us back. You think you're going to stop and frisk and knock us upside the head and all that? Oh, no, that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. You think you're going to bring that good old boy network back in here, and we still fighting the ones that's here now. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Trust me. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We ain't going to be singing, "We shall overcome." No. We ain't singing that. That's over with. It's a good song. Don't get me wrong. I'll tell you. All right, we need about 5 more people, and we can get started, people. 5 more people, we can get started. Y'all know if this was a crime scene, I have 400-500 people, maybe 1,000. But this is a crime scene. Paul Vallis is losing. That's the crime scene. I tell you, come on in, people. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I tell you. Woof. Man, if any moms out there that lost a loved one to gunshot violence and your crime has not been solved, you ought to come and stand with me Wednesday on 69th and Green at the coffee shop. Oh, there we go. I got 100 people now, 193 on Facebook and others on YouTube. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, people. Melody Williams. What's up, Melody? How you feel, Melody? All right, Monique. What's up, Monique? What's going on? Lewis. What's up, now? All right. Let's get started. Let's get the show on the road. All right, people, where do I want to start today? Do I want to start with these flyers, these signs they putting out, or do I want to start with the police? Which one shall I start? Let me hear y'all. Maybe I need to start with the police. Patrice, what's going on? I see you. Donna Williams, what's going on? I see you. Yeah, that's right. All right, people. All right. Now listen, people. Now I know this is a tight race. Now just think about it. You got thugs out here running around here trying to intimidate people on my live, trying to intimidate other people. What's really going on? And you want police and you using the thugs? Come on now. And listen, people. Shout out to George Blakemore. That's all right. George, that's right. Somebody said 12 signs. All right, what I'm going to get? Police. They want to talk about the police first. Okay. Let's talk about the police. All right, now y'all stop me if I'm wrong now. Now, have you ever noticed when a police gets shot? All right, when a police gets shot or if somebody high profile, the crime is looked at as different. All right. Now, one thing we all do know that Chicago police can solve crime. Let you shoot a police officer and see how fast they solve those crimes. They're going to bring the best of all investigators out. But let Pookie or Ray Ray get gunned down in a drive-by shooting. They might leave his body out there for 2 hours, but they stop doing that. That's a good thing. All the police come together when one of them gets shot. They stop the expressway. They listen. They got free range to the hospital with no problem. You know, the same way the police do each other, that's how they should do a citizen. They should. People, this is real. Now, I'm not trying to be funny. That's what you call an emergency. Listen, people, we have to demand for our people. I don't care if Pookie or Ray Ray shot 3 people the other day. He demanded the same services as the police officer. Block off traffic. Get him there. Service him. Come on now, people. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Come on now, people. Listen, we're paying the EMS. We're paying the police. Our tax dollars. So that's a real emergency. So Chicago have proven to us that they know how to solve crime. So why is it they're not solving some of these homicides out here? All right? Now, I'm not saying defund the police. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying F12. I'm not saying that either. But I'm just saying 12 got to get it together. They got to get it together. They got to. Because listen, people, if you shoot a Chicago police officer, I guarantee you, you will be caught either that's within 48 hours. 48 hours. Trust me. They're going to pull all the resources. Now, people, some of you want police on every corner. What's the use of these police cameras for? What are they for? They're not there to stop crime. They're there to monitor crime, people. All the brother got to do is throw on a hoodie and some dark glasses. That's it. They got the license plate tracker. Oh, listen, Chicago police have a lot of resources on how to catch criminals. They got street informants out here. The people that's getting paid by the police, that's snitching on people out here. They got it. They got it. These parents, listen, how many of you guys, and I want the Chicago Post to look at this live, how many of you guys that know someone that's been shot and killed, or just shot or killed, both, in the city of Chicago, and the crime didn't get solved? They didn't find nobody. If you know somebody like that, put some in the box, say I do, or me, or just type me. If you know someone, even yourself, a family member, a friend that got shot and killed, and the crime, they didn't find out who did it, type in a thing. Type in a thing. I'm telling you. I need to see it. I need to see it. Because I need the police to see this. I need the police to see it. Yeah. Come on, people. Come on. Come on. Come on, people. Come on. Keep coming with the messages. Come on, come with the message. If you know someone that got shot and killed and they crime to getting solved, put on there, I do, me, my son, my daughter, my auntie, my mother. Keep going. Come on. Keep bringing it. Keep bringing it. Keep on saying. And I want the Chicago police to look at this live. We're not making up nothing. We're not making up nothing. We're not making up. I want the Chicago police to let them know that those of us that's living in Inglewood, Roseland, Woodlawn, North Lawndale, South and West sides of these high crime areas, we never felt safe. We never felt safe. I want this video to go to our young men and women in blue. Come on, people. Come on. If you know somebody that got shot and killed and the crime didn't get solved, come on now, people. Come on. Come on with it. Come on, talk to me, somebody. Come on, talk to me. This is live, uncut, unedited. Come on, talk to me. And it's keep going. Keep on going. It's going. Now, listen. Now, listen. Now, I'm not for defunding the police. I'm not the one to say F12. I believe that we need law and order, according to the books. But if you know someone that got shot and killed right here in the city of Chicago, and the crime did not get solved, type me, I do, my son, whoever. Just type. I want to see. And I want the Chicago police to look at this. And most of my audience are black. I have white people follow me, but most of my audience is white. I mean black. So I want people to know out there that I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. Trust me. I'm not making this up. If you know someone that have been shot and killed and the crime have not been solved, type in, I do, me, my son, my daughter, my mama, my uncle, my father, type in thing. I tell you, still unsolved. All right. Now, let me say something, people. I don't know what the clearance rate for 2022 is, but I can assure you, moms, dad, pops, sons, and daughters, you have a greater chance than a 50% chance. I'm going to go off on the limb. I'm going to say a 75% chance if you shoot and kill somebody here in the city of Chicago of getting away. Now, come on now, people. Now, talk to me. Talk to me. Why is that? Is it because we're not cooperating with the police? Is it because there's not enough police? Is it because there's not enough detectives? Why is it? Why is it? You can put a police officer on every corner downtown Chicago, all up and down Michigan Avenue, all up and down State, and they're there to guard property. I'm telling you. This is real, people. I am not making this up. So listen to this, people. Do you think that the Chicago police is doing a good job in these high crime areas? I'm going to ask you another question. Just say yes or no. Do you think that Chicago police is doing a good job in these high crime areas? the South and the West Side. We see open drug market. We see it. We see weed, loud blows, all that in gas stations. Do you believe that Chicago police is doing a great job in these high crime areas? I'm asking because I want the police to look at this live. And I'm not, listen, I respect every police officer that go out there and put their life on the line. I don't want to ever discredit that. But something has to be done. Something has to be done when it comes to these high crime areas. Do you believe that the Chicago police is doing a good job in these high crime areas? Come on now, people. Come and talk to me. Come on, talk to me. Come on, talk to me, people. Talk to me. Come on, talk to me, people. Talk to me. I need y'all to answer that. Come on now. We listen, I'm still live. Come on. We want the police to see this live. We want them to see this live. We do not feel safe in our own community. We've been feeling like that for years. For years. What about us in the high crime areas? You said, well, Martin, well, you guys should move. It's not that easy, my brother and my sister. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Do you guys feel safe? And let me say that, let's talk about the police budget. You have $1.9 billion and no crime is being solved. My goodness, not even 50% of the crime has been. We're talking about homicides and shootings. And you know, every holiday, every Christmas, Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, and when it get warm, and pow, 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 pow. Come on now, people. We got the helicopter in the air. We got the street lights, the street cameras, the pods in the air in these areas. We got the red light cameras. They always seem to work. We got the license plate readers on the police officer cars. We got the scanners, which is encrypted now. We have the software that we can face ID recognition. We got the fingerprint software. We have street intelligence that's on the street that's telling police what's going on. So what is the problem, people? We have 51% of Chicago white police officers. I believe there's 25% Hispanic officers and 21% Black officers and the rest other. I'm talking about crime now. I'm talking about solving problems. Now, and the first thing we hear, Kim Foxx letting them out of jail. That's what we hear. Everybody is the blame game. Come on now. Come on now. And I'm going to say this, people. How could somebody that's racist, that hate Black people, that hate Black, oh, I didn't know I had a caller. Hey, Brother Marcus, I'm sorry. That hate Black people, how do you think that they're going to come in our community and do what's right about us? They'll come in our community to aggravate, and then after we start going at the police, then now they playing victim, that we don't want law and order. That's not true. I want our moms to be able to walk down the street and push their babies. I want our young men to be able to ride their bikes and without worrying about people intimidating them or shooting them or getting a straight bullet. I worry about that. I want to see that. I want our children to live a normal life, to go to the park and swing on the swings and play on the sliding board. I want that from our community. We don't need no racist police officers patrolling our community. If you don't like your job, quit. Simple as that. Simple as that. Go ahead, Marcus. I'm going to let you tune in. I'll take a break. Go ahead, Marcus.
You know what? You are so right. We need people that understand us. We need people that care about the community that they're going to patrol, because they're a part of the community. They may not live in a certain neighborhood, but you become a part of the neighborhood. When I worked for the Park District out here at Fernwood, I didn't live near Fernwood. I lived in Inglewood by Ogden Park, but I became a part of the Washington Heights community because I was there to serve the people in the Washington Heights community at that particular park. That's the same way with police officers. And one thing, Martin, I noticed this, bringing in the Park District, we had a police officer at our field house. Most field houses have a Chicago police officer on duty. Those police officers represent the better side of the Chicago police because they understand the community. When I got to Fernwood, the police officer was able to tell me who the bad kid was, who the kid that was on the road to being bad, and who the kid that was just trying to fit in. He knew about everybody that came through that field house. So he knew how to handle them. It wasn't always aggressive. He knew how to talk to them to get them to do what he needed them to do. We need police officers that's going to respect us, not disrespect us. You should be able to walk up to that police officer and laugh and joke with him, not run from him, not be intimidated by the police. But in our neighborhood, they roll through, they look at us like we're animals. It doesn't matter if you're obeying the rules or not.
Mm-hmm.
They still treat you like a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
And people say that we don't help the police. You said it all the time. Who do you think called the police when a shooting happens?
We do.
Somebody in the neighborhood, in the trenches, called the police, right?
Right.
For them to even come, for them to even know that there's a body out there. Somebody called them. But Martin, for the people who are saying that black people don't call the police,
that's a lie.
Everybody in the ghetto knows that when you call the police, they will send the police to your house, even if you say you want to remain anonymous. What happens is it brings unwanted trouble on your family by the gang. And in some cases, you have dirty cops out there. Let's keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
That go back and tell the drug dealers who's doing the telling. And that's why people have stopped telling and they've turned a blind eye because they're in fear. And it's family first. Just like we say, it's race first.
First, that's right.
It's also family first.
First.
You're going to protect your family. And the police is not going to babysit you. They're not going to have a car out there to protect you. You're being a loyal citizen, telling. And in our community, we demonize people who snitch.
Mm-hmm.
We demonize them. We make them enemies because they're snitching to the police, and the police is the enemy in the black community because of the way the police treats us as black people. So you said it. You said it right. How can you serve and protect the neighborhood and you hate the people in that neighborhood? You look at them as scumbags and everything, and you just want to lock them up and throw away the key.
Mm-hmm. And listen to this, Marcus.
No, they do not do a good job.
All right, I'm going to play something, Marcus, real quick.
I'm here to say you're only really here
before Laquan McDonald got killed. Nobody gave a shit about him, and he was running the streets all buck wild.
God.
Okay?
So he deserved to be shot 16
Hey,
times?
you know what? They should have shot him 18.
You are so disgusting. You are so disgusting. You are an evil asshole. And you will rot in hell for that shit. You gonna rot in hell for that shit. You just said that a 17-year-old boy should be shot 18 times.
You already.
You disgusting.
You just said that.
Yeah. Who you work for? Who did you work for? Who did you work for? I want you to just hear what. No, I want you to just hear what he just said first. Hear what he just said. I want you to hear what he just said first. What you just said? Tell her what you just said.
Ask me the question again, and I'll give you the answer.
Okay, I said, do you think that Laquan McDonald should have been shot 16 times?
Should have probably been shot more. He was a threat to the community.
So do you think that was okay?
No, I don't. That's what's weird.
That's what I'm saying. I'm here to say Jussie Smollett is innocent. I'm here to say you're only really here
before Laquan McDonald got killed. Nobody gave a shit about him, and he was running the streets all buck wild.
God.
Okay?
So he deserved to be shot 16
Hey,
times?
you know what? They should have shot him 18.
You are so disgusting. You are so disgusting. You are an evil asshole. And you will rot in hell for that shit.
Yeah, but I just want to show you that. And this is that mentality in the black community, people, is a no-no. It's a no-no. And y'all know I'm the crime chaser. And I've seen a lot of things, people, a lot of things. I'm going to tell you, that mentality that what you just witnessed from one of those officers for turn on the police here in the city of Chicago, we don't need that in our community. And I'm going to tell you something. This not the we shall overcome young people, as Brother Hatchet said. This is a different generation. They don't care about your system going to jail. They don't care about getting no felony. Listen, they will lose it. I'm telling you. Well, you say, well, Martin, you promoting. No, I'm not promoting violence. But I'm telling you, I'm telling the truth.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Them young people, listen, you're not going to bully them around like you have done the other generations. This is not that. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. Well, this is what, Martin, you going in on the police. No, I'm telling the truth. I'm gonna let y'all come. I'm telling the truth, people. Chicago police officer, you're not solving these homicides. Period. You're not solving. You have a $1.9 billion budget. What are you going to do for us? We need you to solve crimes in our community. We are prisoners in our own community. Now everybody's upset about crime now. We've been telling you guys that for years about crime in our community. Now the crime, the young people have got smarter now. They said, well, why should I rob Martin? He ain't got nothing but a couple of hundred. I can go downtown and get me a express car, American Express car, and $500 in cash off another person. They got it. Maybe a Rolex watch. That's how they think. That's what they're doing. I'm 54 years old. People, downtown Chicago was like a neutral zone, safe zone. You would go down there, you would go to show, you would get something to eat. You wouldn't have to worry about the riffraff that we have in the community. Now you got to look both ways, up and down. You got to look around when you pay for your dinner now. You got to be careful when you're walking on the lakefront. It has gotten that bad down there. Now, if I'm lying, somebody check me. I'm not lying. Now, I'm not lying.
You telling the truth.
I am not lying on the Chicago
They
police.
say it's
Go ahead, Marcus.
They say downtown is everybody's playground. Let me flip that. That was on the marquee of the Chicago theater. Let me add to that. Downtown is the new Inglewood, Roseland, Baytown, and all them other places that we call rough sides of the city. That is the intersection where they all converge. Downtown is better than some of these neighborhoods that's uptown.
Yeah.
You are not safe downtown.
Yeah. And so, I mean, how many more billions do Chicago police need before they can solve some crimes? See, we don't listen. I'm gonna tell you what we don't hear about. We don't hear about the police misconduct. They pay out hundreds and millions of dollars each year in police misconduct because they don't care. They've shown you now. They don't care about that body cam running. They don't care about that. They still gonna be defiant. We had a high-speed chase today over there on 70th and Honorary. Lord knows what happened. I didn't even go to the crime scene. Listen, I'm for police chasing criminals, but not at the extent where it's going to hurt the public. Let's talk about public safety. When a police officer is driving 100 miles per hour down 63rd and Cottage Grove, where people got to cross the street. Come on now, people. It's terrible. Dr. Sanders, come on, take over. Dr. Sanders, go ahead, Doc. I see you.
What?
Go ahead, Doc.
I remember Chicago Theater, State Lake, United, the Woods.
You breaking up, Doc. You breaking up like you.
Go downtown. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you was breaking up like you fading in and out.
Can you hear me?
You're loud and clear. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
I remember Chicago Theater, State Lake, which is across the street from the Chicago Theater. Go around the corner on Randolph, you had United Artists, you had the Woods Theater, and then you had about a couple of blocks up McVickers. It used to be a time when you had Weebo, Litton, Baskins, Montgomery Ward, Sears, Gold Black, F.W. Woolworth. Oh, I'm going all the way back because I was in all them stores with my mother and my grandmother and my auntie. But let me share this with mine. I think I remember sharing this with you in time past. Because somebody on one of those networks said something crazy.
Get him.
My first husband was training at the Timothy J. O'Connor, and I would go and take him to be there for training for county, because county hospital had a lot of those guys training with Chicago police. The difference is the educational part. I'm giving you what I know, what I read with him, not my opinion or assumption. When I would pick him up, waiting in the training, I would hear the commanders training them and telling them how to treat civilians. Even if it's their own spouses, they get out of line. If they pull a gun on me, you shoot them. I know what I heard, and I could very well get them on the phone and tell them to tell the truth to back it up, because I know what I heard. When I started hearing how they were deprogramming the officers, female and male, it became cantankerous, because they deprogrammed them. It's no more Charlie Brown. You went in Charlie Brown, it came out something different. I'm telling you what I know. The book that they trained them from was a book of Chapter 38 law. So you all who don't know nothing about that, research it. I would gladly tell you the articles in the section.
Let me say something, Dr. Sanders. Stop real quick. I want to say something real quick. Do you know, and this is factual, that when a Chicago police officer retires from the department, they cannot speak against the department? They have to wait to 2 years before they can make any statement. If they violate that, they violate their pension. They can penalize them. Why is that, people? Why is it that if you're an outstanding police officer and you're for the community, as you say, and you want to get rid of crime, why do you have a gag order on your own officers that retire? Because you know it's dirty. Well, you say, well, Martin, you don't know what you're talking about. Do your investigation, people. Do your investigation. You have to wait 2 years before you can speak out against the police, the wrong. Why is that? I just want to throw that out there for those of Mr. and Mrs. Know-it-all, don't know nothing but what the TV tell you. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. I'm sorry to cut you off. You talking about your ex? Yeah, you was talking about your ex.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying the training he went through, and when I had to end up experiencing that in domestic violence, I remember wholeheartedly how that affected his mental state, because it changed him. They went in, as I said, as Charlie Brown, and they came out as somebody totally different, a total different person, because they did all that training. Now, there was one person, I think it was on when Laquan McDonald situation went up, and I was actually debating with somebody that said that there was a police officer, and I said, well, why are you on here anyway? Why are you talking? You're not going to get face. Because as a police officer, what they did at that time, we could not even be listed in the white pages, because if the criminals that you arrested came out looking for you, they knew where to find you. So there was a safety order, especially being an ex-cop's wife. There was a lot of fearful things. If I accidentally ran the South Side, they saw the medallion in the back of the car. They knew that I was an officer's wife, or this was the officer driver. They didn't bother. I promise you they wouldn't. They don't damage their own. The Fraternal Order Police is a strong force. When I heard that white man say what he said, he should have been shot more times than that. That made me want to go through the video and knock his teeth out his mouth. Because why would you say that? Why you didn't knock Jeffrey Dahmer's teeth out? Why you didn't knock out John Wayne Gacy's teeth out? Why you didn't do that? Why didn't you do it? You could have put them. You could have put them on an execution table. But y'all let these people do what? Die honorable death. I'm just saying. So when you talk about, like Marcus said, yes, we should not be intimidated. They should act like Barney Fife in a sense, where they walk the neighborhood and you could, at one time, you see the police come 5-0. You know, back in the day it was 5-0.
Yeah, we call them 5-0.
5-0, everybody stopped. Gang bangers, drug dealers, they all scatter like roaches. But now there is no fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's no fear. Now you reopened up because you need more officers to be on the force. But see, the crazy, now you want to send them for over $70,000 to start. But when they get through, they're not the same people. I have plenty of friends in the police force, and they don't abuse the privilege at all.
Mm-hmm.
But most of these people are messed up. I'm serious. Before I met my first husband, I dated a cop, and he literally blew by his mouth and always carried his gun with him. He turned everybody off. If you don't move, I'm gonna shoot you. That's how their thinking is.
Mm-hmm.
So what they teach in the academy is training, but it's almost like we're gonna kill the Charlie Brown in you, and we're gonna bring out monsters because you got to serve everybody. And I remember the officer who was white that said this in training, because I was peeping through the thing. I said, "You gonna kill? If it's your wife or your husband that disrespects you, you kill him." Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you sleep with the enemy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what my experience.
Let me say this too. I want to say
I'm
something.
telling you.
I want to say to some Dr. Sanders, most of their training, white people, especially white officers and some black officers, when they hear the word criminal, but they don't use criminal, they use bad guy. He's one of the good guys, a bad guy. That means that's a death sentence. You're nothing to them. But see, what they don't tell you, that there's a divide inside the Chicago Police Department. And you know what? And Marcus, you're my witness. I'm going to say this, Marcus. We don't talk about it, but I had to bring it up. I remember the Fraternal Order Police told his officers to stand down. The word got out. Am I lying, Marcus? Now tell the truth. I'm telling the truth. Told them to stand down. Well, what do you mean by stand down? Don't do the work. Don't arrest nobody. That happened here in the city of Chicago. In the city of Chicago, people, this is real. Words came from the Fraternal Order Police to tell the Chicago police officers to stand down. Look the other way. Come on now, people. I'm telling the truth. I'm not laying on no police officer. I'm not anti-police.
So lay low.
You know, but they don't want to talk about that.
Said lay low.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about that.
Yep.
They don't want to talk about when one of your commanders, John Byrd, was squeezing the testicles of black men. All black men, wasn't no white man that he framed and made confess. Come on now. So the Chicago Police Department have their own problem. They're not perfect at all. Trust me. Trust me, they're not perfect. Just the other day, I believe over there on 111, they're keeping it real hush-hush. They had a couple of guns that's missing in the evidence. And I think they stripped 2 officers, relieved them of their powers, police duties. So this is what I'm talking about, people. Y'all hiring these ex-gangbangers, you hiring these old racist police officers and putting them in a department, and this is what we get. Listen, people, this thing is real. Let me go to the next caller. Come on, caller, 8714. Hey, caller.
Hey, Martin.
Hey, Miss Erica.
Hey,
how you
everyone.
doing? Good.
Good. This has been a really awesome conversation so far. So many amazing things have been said. Just wanted to touch on a couple of just points that were made. When you talk about the violence that we see with the police, like, people need to understand something. The police system in this country, including the Chicago police, it finds its root in slave catching. Y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
The police that we know today originally started from the institution of slave catching. There was something called the Fugitive Slave Law that was passed back in the day. And that law basically deputized every single white person in this country to basically be a popo if they saw a black person that may be trying to escape. That went for the North, and that went for the South. So even if you made it to the North, you could still end up being dragged all the way back to the plantation if a white person. That's why you had to have the Underground Railroad with safe houses and code words to know if you was talking to somebody who was safe, to help you get to freedom. So slave catching is an institutional foundation of this country. Catch them inwards. That's basically what the whole system of policing is based in, and it has never fully divorced itself from those roots. So no matter how many police we put out here, no matter what color they are, no matter what, these people are basically signing up to become slave catchers. And the problem is, even with the best of intentions, and by the way, y'all, full disclosure, you are speaking to the daughter of a 28-year retired officer, a black officer, okay? Not in Chicago, but back in Florida. So I'm the daughter of a black officer, but he was also from the Black Liberation Movement. And the only reason he became an officer, it was around the same time of the 1994 crime bill, when the federal government poured tons of money into incarceration and policing. And my dad used to drive a liquor truck in the hood. And he was driving the liquor truck, and he see a sign that say $100,000 up to $100,000 a year with overtime. Sign up today. What a black man finna do who driving a liquor truck make a minimum wage if you see a sign like that? So of course, a lot of black people joined the policing, especially during that time of my generation. But my dad, because he grew up in Black Liberation times, he said he went in there thinking he could make a difference. He was like, but it's a system, boo. It's a system. He was like, I saw so many black men in there that didn't need to be locked up. They just needed other opportunities. He's like, I seen so many things, and I really thought I could make a difference individually, but it don't work like that because it's a system. And last thing, Martin, you mentioned about them taking orders, right?
Mhm.
About stand down,
Right.
or whatever. We got to remember, the police are people who take orders, y'all. They take orders. They not individuals who could just be nice and do, like, they take orders from a command. And if that command is steeped in white supremacy, like the video we saw, it don't matter what the individual officer may want or think, and especially if they are racist. So it's bigger than just trying to put more black faces in the force. It's bigger than trying to recruit. It's bigger than that. Policing itself is an institution that's steeped in slave catching, and that is exactly how they treat us.
Now, let me ask you a question. It's been a young woman. Well, you're not that young, but a young woman. Do you think police presence is needed in the community?
Do I think the police? I'll say that again.
Do you think that the Chicago police presence is needed in the community?
Heck to the no. As a matter of fact,
Tell me why.
The Chicago,
okay, go ahead.
Anybody who thinks that the hood don't got enough police don't live in the hood. Okay, like police show up 5 at a time to one scene. Y'all got a shortage? There'd be like 5 police cars at once. They just start zooming up and crowding up. But y'all short police? Get out of here. The police be zooming and you hear sirens every 5 seconds. It's not no police shortage. And then the presence of the police don't mean nothing. I think somebody said it earlier. There was a shooting. I don't know if y'all remember that shooting in Auburn Gresham in front of the funeral home at that funeral. There was a police officer right there when that happened.
Well, let me hold it right there.
Right there.
Yeah, hold it, sister. There was a telemarketer. Yeah, police right there. Marcus tell you, police right there. So I tell.
Yep. 79th and Cottage Road.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question. And I'm gonna ask you. I want to go through the panel. Erica, let me ask you: if you had to, if you had the power, what would you change about the Chicago Police Department? Period. If you had the power.
If I had the power, what I would change about the Chicago Police Department would be about completely changing what it even means to police. Meaning that the current role that police play, the current things that we expect police to do would be completely reassigned in a different way. For example, the community itself, right now, the community itself is really at the root of stopping violent acts as well as why are people doing these violent acts in the first place. Many of the people committing these crimes are living in the houses of the people in the community. Okay, like this is your cousins, these are your sons and daughters. These are people that's related to us. So it's kids at school's friends. So the real people who are closest to the people that's out here doing that are in no way being engaged in a real way, because number one, we can't trust the policing system. So if I had the power, what I would do is I would completely turn it on its head, and I would put the power in the hands of the people, meaning that they have the chance to give people an option, right? Don't do this. Whatever you planning on doing. Here is the police actually come with like, you have a choice right now. I'm not calling 911. I'm calling let's call it 711, right? And if you want to hit this lick, right? But this group of people actually come to offer you a signing bonus right now to leave right now and go do a trade. Or go learn to do an instrument, or go learn to I don't care, paint a house. But they literally come with money in hand and they take you away, not to jail, but they take you away to go learn something. And we need to make trade schools more like college campuses, where they actually have housing, room and board. They actually have meal plans, just like college.
Hold it. Now
and
you
can call a number and they come pick you up.
Erica, now we know that's not going to happen. That's, I mean, realistically speaking, that's not going to happen. What I was looking for. I mean, I don't really think it's unrealistic in the sense that we keep saying we want trade programs, right? We say we want trade programs, and then we also say that we want to give the resources. I'm just saying connected to the people in the community who actually know who these people are. Right. Okay. Well, let me go on to the next one. Dr. Sanders, if you had the power, what would you change about the Chicago police? If you had the power, what would you change?
I would revise the training manual, because a lot of that I remember when my former spouse was being trained. They were being trained by white commanders. And how that Chapter 38 law book at that time in the 90s was written, it was written more so in the military way. And that is what caused a big problem. There were not enough Black trainers there at the Timothy J. O'Connor at that time. There were a lot of whites. And how they spoke to them in the way to the cadets at that time, I was fearful myself, because if you're with somebody and they got a whole lot of guns, you don't know what's gonna snap off. My son Malcolm was listening to Miss Erica, and he was in the Army Reserve. So I would literally change that training manual, and I would have more Black commanders with the experience that can be able to help these cadets know the difference between criminals and regular civilians. Because, Martin, you have a lot of innocent civilians that basically get pulled over or they get disrespected by a lot of our officers. I would take that, because guess who writes that though? The Fraternal Order of Police writes that manual.
Okay.
That's where they get it from. They don't make, CPD don't make their own manuals. That comes from the Fraternal Order of Police. That's where it comes from at the time. So my thing is, I would change that. I would change the curriculum for that, because they have to be able. A lot of the police officers, like you said, Martin, they go through some things. When they leave off the street and go home, a lot of them don't stay married to the same person all their life. They don't. They bring their work home because they've been deprogrammed, especially with the Black men that we have.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, Marcus. I'm going to ask you the same question, Marcus. If you had the power to change some things about the Chicago police, what would you change?
Number one, mental help for them, because a lot of them see stuff that we don't see, and a lot of them are regular people too. When I say regular people, they get on drugs and all that. I would see to it that they would have to take some type of drug test. Number two, it would be the cops that have a history of being racist. I would pull them out of the Black community. I would literally get rid of them because they're no good to the police force as a whole. And you can't legislate a man's heart. I would either tell them you got two options: clean up your act or find another job. That's what I would change. It wouldn't be all this trial and all that. And if I had to fight with the union, so be it. I would fight with the union to make this police force what it should be. I would also have them walk in the street at some time, engaging with the community, getting to know the community that they're patrolling, not just rolling around in a car and never engage with the people like they should. That would be mandatory. There would have to be a community meeting every month. They would have to report on what's going on and even give me a rundown of the arrests they made and why they made those arrests, and even traffic stops. I would also train them better to understand who they're stopping and that everybody is not a criminal. And that goes with mental illness. You have a lot of police officers that have mental issues, and they take it to work, and it's based on what they see at work that causes those mental issues.
Okay, good. All right, I want to say this real quick. A lot of police shootings stem from traffic stops. Did you guys know that? A lot of police shootings stem from traffic stops. That's another thing we want to focus on, that area too with them. Now, if I had to change something, I just want to put myself in. If I had to change something, it probably would be, I agree with you with the drug testing. I would definitely be tough on that. I would be tough on people. If I hear anything about racial slurs, if I see anything on your body, tattoos on your body that represent any type of organization, whether it be an old gang or Proud Boy, whatever, I would be tough on that. Also, I agree with you, Marcus. I would like for community engagement. Get out of them cars, walk the beat, know the people who you, especially in the business district. I would do that.
Yep.
I definitely would do that. I would split them up. White, black, Spanish, black, white. No all white guys in the one car. No, I would not do that. I wouldn't do that at all. No, we're gonna cut all that out. Now, if we're going to be boys in blue, boys, men and women in blue, we're going to be one when we get out here, and this is how we're going to handle this. Also, I will hold accountable for any officer that commit a crime against a citizen, and if his partner or her partner didn't report it to the chain of command, that would be punishment. Day off, lose a job, lose some days suspension, automatic suspension. Now, I'm not saying, I know there's a code of silence. If you got two partners and here a male and female get out over here on 63rd and Halsted, y'all shake down a drug dealer, and you know your partner took $10,000 from him. You didn't get none of that money. You need to report your partner to your supervisor. Hey, I'm letting you know right now, some money was taken from a citizen, and I have no parts of it. I'm telling you, you have to have that, because any cop out there, if you consider yourself as a good officer, a good cop, and you see your partner committing crime, police crime, and you don't say anything, you're just as guilty. So that's what I would change, make it aware of that. And that would eliminate a lot of racism. That would eliminate a lot of shakedown and all of that. Because they've gotten so bold now, they don't care if the camera running. They're still going to do what they feel like doing. And also what I would do, if you commit a police crime, your punishment will be twice as worse as a normal citizen. So if you go out there and shoot a white man, which I doubted, or a black man down in the back unarmed, knowingly unarmed. Now, you know, if you get caught reaching, the police can shoot you, even if though you don't have anything on you, just going through the motion. But if you go out there and shoot somebody in the back, you're done. You're done. Automatic termination. Nothing your union can do. I'm just telling you. Listen, I respect people, the law enforcement, but there have to be some rules. They have to put some fear in that. Fear factor in it. That's me. And, you know, and a lot of things they need to change. You know, you're not going to come on the south side and tell grown men, go in the house, talk to like we little boys. But on the north side, you speaking, you waving, and you smiling. The same thing you do on the north side, it should be done on the south side. I don't care if you think less of black people. You have to give them the benefit of the doubt that you give the white people on the north side. You know, that's me. So you have to put down. Go ahead. Go ahead, Erica. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, and like I know for some people it just seems like, you know, what I suggested just seems like so impossible. But the thing I think is at the root of a lot of the crime is prevention, right? Because the best way to stop a bullet is an opportunity. The best way to stop a bullet is to prevent the bullet from ever leaving the chamber of the gun in the first place, which starts with the mind of the person who pulls the trigger. Because otherwise, that's just police showing up after the fact to scoop our bodies up and file us away in a file cabinet somewhere the next case. So what I'm talking about is about us actually rethinking what an emergency actually is, and having a way to call for emergencies that are actually linked to why these things happen in the first place. Because I don't got no 911, no 711. I don't got no number to call when I don't have groceries in my house. I don't got no number to call when I can't afford my rent. I don't got no number to call when I have a car issue I can't afford. But you know what? If we actually treated the root causes like emergencies that lead to the bullets leaving the chambers of the gun, we could actually give these people an opportunity to be a part of the solution. Somebody mentioned the Kia boys that are these young kids that are jacking cars. Yep. They actually had to research how to do that online, which is a very intricate thing to learn, but they learned it. So they obviously have a mind to learn. And instead, I know my brakes just went out the other day. It was like a $2,000 repair on my brakes. And you know what would have been awesome? How about these Kia boys being given the opportunity to learn how to repair cars, and they actually make a good salary doing it. And so people like me, I can call an emergency number when I don't have the kind of funds or money to fix my vehicle. And there's actually a publicly funded option that is actually these apprenticeships of actual veteran mechanics is teaching these young kids how to do this work. And that way it lowers the cost of labor, and we're able to get our cars fixed when we need to. We're able to get things that we need brought to us and things like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to rethink what an emergency actually is and start to connect that with the skill sets that kids are using for criminal activity that actually could be used to help the community.
Okay. Let me say this too, Erica, in conjunction with what you're saying. Now, crime is $1 billion industry. Now.
Yes, it is.
They need crime to survive. I'm just telling you. Just imagine, I think I said this about a month ago, if crime dropped 50% here in the city of Chicago, they might do some layoffs. They don't want that to happen. They like to keep it going. So it's big money. They got, I believe that they have agreements with prisons that they're going to send so many prisoners to the jail, to the state prison. What'd you say, Marcus?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
private prisons.
Yeah. So this is real. So it's all a game, people. The same people that stand up in this election and say they want to add more people, more cops, are the same ones keeping this stuff going on. Same ones. The same ones, people. Listen, we've been for years, Erica, I've lived in the hood for years, and it's never been safe. Never been safe. And they know that. But when it starts spilling over downtown, then that's when they had a problem. And on the north side, they've always had crime, but not the way it is done on the south and the west side. When these young boys start coming downtown, carjacking, armed robbery, sticking up, looting, snatching and grabbing, you know, this is what this election is about. What are we going to do, like you said, Eric, with the black people, the black youth, the ones that are committing crime? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. That's all what it's about. And they think that they're going to come here and knock us upside the head and frisk and all that. It's not going to happen. Trust me. It's just not going to happen. And that's why you see so many preachers and go ahead, Erica. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
That's why you see so many preachers and pastors.
Yeah,
Now, what you want to do? You go ahead and talk, Erica. Go ahead.
Sorry. There's a delay. My bad. Go ahead, Martin.
No, go. I want you to go. Go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the way that we even think about the policing and like you said about the way that the police are kind of put on us, like, because the North Side, they not used to that, and when it was happening to us, they didn't give a damn.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give a damn when all that violence was happening on our side of town. That was kicking their feet up, and they was perfectly fine with. And that's kind of what's causing this big hubbub, is that now those things are spilling over into our communities. I was gonna say something else, so I lost my train of thought, but I want to finish hearing what you had to say.
Okay, now listen.
Martin,
Martin. Doc Sand, let me just say this.
I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt your program. I'm looking at a live Fox 32 with Brandon Johnson and Vallis talking about that there's U Chicago did a study. Only 3,000 of 11,000 COPs answered 911 calls. And then they need 200 extra detectives, and they're looking to hire 1,700. I'm looking at Brandon right now, and this is what Vallis says: deploy 75% of COPs to local districts. This is what you're talking about right now.
Right.
Just on Fox 32 right now, looking at it.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, he's right on the same thing that Brandon and him are talking right now.
Right. And let me just say this. For those of you that think promoting 200 detectives to solve crimes, say that to any parent, any son, any daughter, any mother or father that lost a loved one here in the city of Chicago violence, they'll probably cuss you out. They don't need that. That's an excellent idea. You listen. When I lost my nephew, we did more work than the detectives. Only thing we didn't do is go get the guy. That's it. Listen, those of you parents, y'all can witness with this with me. When you call in to these detectives, the first thing they say, this is what they say: oh, I'll call you back. We haven't gotten done yet. He in the meeting. He on vacation. Or we'll call you. Don't call us. We'll call you when we find out something. This is what they say, people. Now listen. My car got stolen. I had a detective. I gave the man the video of the tow truck showing that the tow truck stole my car, rolled off. The man still didn't do nothing. I mean, the video, what more evidence could you ask for? Detective. So what I'm trying to say, this is my point, people. Black lives do not matter when it comes to policing in these certain areas. I remember, and Dr. Sanders, and you can bear witness to this, Marcus too, that young man laid on that ground that was shot dead, and Dr. Sanders over in Woodlawn all night long. Dr. Sanders and them had to go out there and guard that man's body so the raccoons wouldn't get on that man's body, that young man's body. So now, finally, they are not leaving people outside 2 or 3 hours. That's another thing I do not like about the Chicago police. They stopped doing it. At least they stopped doing it in Inglewood. If somebody gets shot and killed, you let the body stay out there 3 or 4 hours. Don't do that. That's devastating to the parents and to the family members. And you wonder why there's a push against the police, because you got their loved ones sitting out there. Even though they've been pronounced DOA, You can't do that. That's trauma. That's trauma.
Can I say?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Why they do that, and I was told I learned a lot from talking to the cops at the Park District. They have to wait on the medical examiner to come out and actually pronounce that person dead on the scene. That's why they do that. So the question is, how many medical examiners do Cook County get?
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't do that no more in Inglewood, because I remember the commander. He says,
$99,000 question.
Yeah,
that's the $99,000 question. Because when we were out there with Xavier Joy, it was into the wee hours of the night, in the morning. And when I asked the police officer, I said, cover his body. No, we don't want to tamper with evidence. I'm looking at the raccoons as big as my leg. Because that's somebody's child. Even though he's a grown man, he's still somebody's baby to a mother. So they later on, it took time. I mean, even when my brother was found dead, okay, it took time, almost 5 or 6 hours before they came and got his body. Is there enough coroners to do this? Is it enough? Because if it's not, then this is what happened, because we want 1 or 2 coroners to serve the whole Cook County region. That's going to be impossible. There should be another revision on that, because once the body is deceased, like at the hospital, it's my part-time gig outside of CPS, we get bodies that'll be sitting there for 2 or 3 days before the undertakers come and get them, because there's a whole lot of release papers they have to do before they release the body out of the hospital. I'm telling you my job.
Right.
So we got to find out how many corners.
Yeah. As soon as Dr. Sanders stop talking, you can go next. Go ahead, Erica.
Yeah. So I remember my train of thought. And I just appreciate you too, Martin, for allowing me with my young,
no, that's okay.
ideas to come on the show. Sometimes I think outside the box. I know y'all, but we got to start thinking outside the box. It doesn't mean that every idea is going to work, but I feel like we got to be willing to at least try it. And for those who have heard me on the show before, my educational background is social psychology, which social psychology is different than regular psychology. It's more of a study of groups and people and research. And it's about actually testing things out and seeing what works. And you got to be willing to think outside the box. So I want to bring this up to y'all on the show. I've never mentioned it before. It actually is not an idea that came from me. Came from a father who lost his son, who's here in the hood, former gangbanger. I won't say his name right now because I don't have his permission to say his name. But if this idea ever takes off, I will do my last dying breath, make sure that his name is known. But I just want to put this out. Something he said to me was brilliant. He said the 200 more detectives thing, when Martin, you just said most parents that lost a child will cuss you out if you say that's a bad idea. Well, he actually cussed me out when I said it was a good idea. And I asked him, well, why? Why are you so upset with that idea? That's a good idea that could solve your son's murder. And he said, because these mofos don't know what they're doing. He was like, they solve when a white person gets shot in Hyde Park, a white college student gets shot in Hyde Park, they solve it immediately. But when our kids get shot, they act like they can't solve it. He was like, they don't know what they're doing. I don't trust them. Like, he had an issue with it. I was like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but what's your solution? And he said something brilliant. He said, it take a criminal to catch a criminal. He's like, it take a shooter to catch a shooter. He was like, they really wanted to solve this. They would get the actual people out here that's doing it to become the people that solve it. And I was like, whoa. I said, whoa. I said, that's actually freaking brilliant. And then I thought about it from this perspective, right? So Brandon talks about lowering the requirements of police, which is why we don't have police from our communities, which is like credit scores. You got to have a high FICO score. And if you pour from the hood, credit score probably low, so it disqualifies you. All these requirements, you can't have a misdemeanor, all this stuff. So already on that track of lowering requirements, but what about the idea of restorative justice? And I know this might be hard to hear. I've lost a family member as well to gun violence, so trust me, I get it. But we talk about restorative justice, which is basically the people who were harmed, the person who did the harm has to face the family of the person they've harmed, and they have to go through a restorative justice process, basically an act of repentance, an act of forgiveness, and a whole act of healing, and seeing each other as human beings and the wrong they've done. But if we actually found people like that, who was willing to be trained, think about this, y'all. I know it's out the box. but they was willing to go through that process of repentance and reparative justice. And they actually agreed to be trained to be detectives, just like the other detectives. And like I said, we tested. We got a test group of those like them who are trained to be detectives. They get the same training, the same knowledge, the same access. And then we have a group of traditional detectives. And we actually see which group solves more crime, which group solves more cases. And I put my hypothesis and my money on the group that was out here. That's where my money at, that they would end up being the best detectives we ever seen. But see, that's thinking outside the box. So
Okay.
I just wanted to add
Okay, well, let me just say this.
Well, you know what?
Go ahead, Marcus. I want to say something. Go ahead.
Okay. Based on what she just said, that's a good idea. And they want to stop crime on a CTA train. Why not hire some of these young people? It does take a shooter to catch a shooter. It takes a carjacker to catch a carjacker. But the question is, can these people be trusted?
That's the question. Now you took it out of my mouth. Now that's what I was wanting to go. That's can they be trusted?
Because you can't trust everybody.
You can't trust everybody, especially with a weapon.
And I get, and I think that would be the biggest pushback on an idea like this. But that's why I think restorative justice process is important, right? Because you can't just choose anybody out of that group to be a part of that pilot program or test program, right? It has to be certain ones who are actually showing true, like, because like I'm gonna tell y'all a real quick story. So when I was like near 50, like Garfield, in Ashland, 55th and Ashland. And I was waiting for the bus, and I saw this group of kids, and I was like, "Oh, look at this little group of kids." And somebody's like, "Oh, there ain't no kids, them shooters." I was like, "Shooters? That's kids." And like me and my organizing mind, not being kind of fearless, maybe a little stupid, decided to go approach them, and I just started talking to them, and I was like, "So, what's up with y'all?" And I got some information. Next thing I know, they started telling me a bunch of stuff. And they showed me it was like a 14-year-old or 15-year-old sitting on the porch. And they was laughing at him because he had and they was like, you can't come get us. And I was like, why y'all picking on him? They was like, look at his ankle. He had an ankle bracelet. He was on electronic monitoring. It was like, he can't come past the fence. And then I was like, why not? They was like, he a shooter. And then they was like, oh, don't tell nobody I told you. But I saw him in the stairwell crying because he had killed somebody. Ha, ha, ha. And I was like, whoa. And it just made me think, like, some of these people, believe it or not, y'all, that be doing this stuff, can't sleep at night. Some of these young kids that be doing this stuff are haunted by what they've done. They are haunted by what they've done. And those are the set that need to be given the opportunity of restorative justice, of their true broken heart, to find healing, to find some type of cleansing from what they've done. And they could very well be the very people that could be perfect for testing this out. And that's what I'm saying. Not everybody, but there is somebodies. And those somebodies are the ones you want.
Listen to this, people. Some CPD prey upon our youth. If they don't have a criminal record, they'll be sure to get one. And that's true. That's true, people. That's true. And see, y'all got to listen. Some of these cops out here ain't so righteous now. Trust me. Listen, we don't know how to compete. They know that we're out here competing for the same jobs that they are. But if we got felonies, bad credit, and all that, we can't get the jobs. We won't be able to compete with them on the jobs. I'm telling you, people, this is real. Young man, if you're around here doing something, whatever you do, don't get no felony. Because if you get a felony, you're going to be doomed. You're going to be a career criminal. I'm telling you. I remember years ago when I got called in question, and a district attorney told me, he said, Martin, I know everything you do. I know all about you. But he said in these words, in this authority, he said, whatever you do, a white guy, young white guy, don't get no felony. He knew I was out there selling dope, but I wasn't called in for that, for something else. And he said, whatever you do, don't get no felony. And from that day to this day, that took the love of selling drugs out of my life. I said, because I knew I was better than what I was doing. Because I knew if I get a felony selling drugs, that I probably was going to be a career criminal. I'm serious, y'all. I'm telling you the truth. So young men, if you're listening to me, if you want to be great in this country and great for your people, don't go to jail. Don't go to jail. Don't do nothing criminal. Please don't. Please don't. It's fun when you go to jail with a group of people. I've been there. I know what it's like. Police come through, do a sweep, take all the gangbangers off the trip. Everybody be laughing and giggling and all that because you know you're getting right out. But young people, this is real. You do not get a badge of honor because you shot and killed somebody or you've been to jail or you've been shot yourself. That's not a badge of honor at all. Trust me. Because if you got a felony, you're going to be a burden to your mother. You're going to be a burden to your community, and you're going to be a burden to law enforcement. You're going to be a marked man or a marked woman. Trust me. Every time you get pulled over and they run your record, run your name, it's going to pop up. And if you know to be a gunslinger, they're going to mention to that. A child molester, whatever. It's real, people. It's real. And listen, are you? Go ahead. I hate when they do that, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
sister.
I just wanted to say because I have been reading some of the comments, and basically it's like, oh, who wants that? Who wants restorative justice? And that's the thing. Restorative justice is a choice for victims' families. You don't have to do that. You could just be like, I want them dead. I want them gone. I want revenge. It's your choice. It's your right how you want to deal with that person. But believe it or not, there are some people, there are some mothers, there are some family members that if they actually finally caught the person, they finally got to see that they looking at a child, they looking at a broken child that is broken about what they've done, and they finally come to terms with the harm they've caused, actually sees their own child in that child. And they actually, if that child wants to do better, and wants to start being a part of the solution, believe it or not, there are some families that will be behind that. I'm not saying all. I'm not saying all. We're not talking about all. We don't need all, right? If you want to see them dead and gone, great. That's fine. That's your choice. That's your right as the victim. But for those that do, we are not tapping into a vital resource, which is the people who could be the best people at not only getting to the root of this and solving these crimes, but even close enough to the problem to prevent the crimes in the first place. Talk to the people that's thinking about doing it and saying, hey, this needs to stop. And they actually have a job to do that now. And when we talk about corruption, we've got white officers that's as corrupt as the day is long, but because they are white, they never got caught. They never got a record. They never got arrested. So it's not about, oh, we can't trust so-and-so, but we could trust these white mofos that do all kind of nefarious stuff, but just don't get caught because they white. Like, we need to look at who truly wants to be a part of the change. We need to see who truly wants to use there's a scripture, what the enemy meant for evil, God uses for good. And we need to utilize that to helpfully be a part of the solution. That's all that I'm saying. I'm not saying it's all. I'm not saying it's everyone. I'm just saying the ones that are, that's a group, that's a set we could literally study and see. It's worth looking into, y'all. It's worth trying, yo. Like the A-Team, I'm too young to remember that show, but I remember it existed, the A-Team or whatever. And like these other shows where it's like, it was the ones that was the bad guys, quote unquote, that ended up being the best at solving.
21
Jump Street is another one.
The 80s version, not the 90s version, but the 80s version. Not my generation's version.
All right.
But yeah, like that. I think it's like I'm talking about a case study, y'all. Like,
right.
At least study this in a pilot program.
Well, listen, let me just say this, Erica. I got a new caller, y'all, but I have to say this. A session like this is what you call brainstorming. There's no dumb answer, okay? All right. So I don't want you people, because anytime, like our dear sister said, think out the box. You know, you might not think that would be a good solution or try, but that's you. That's how you solve questions. You know what I mean? Problems. You ask questions. How can I make a chair out of this tree? Somebody came up with a brilliant idea. But if it had been on a person that like, no, you're not going to be able to get a table from that tree. You're not going to be able to get a desk from that tree. You're not going to be able to get a chair from that tree. But it took some person in their mind say, hey, how about this? And the sister said, let's do a case study or something. So we have to be careful shooting down people's ideas because they don't align with the way we think. That's what I want to say. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. And I got a new caller. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders.
I want to add on, Martin, what you said. When you commit these felonies, understand by the time you get to a certain age and you decide that you want a real good, decent job, guess what they ask you on the application? Have you ever committed any criminal activity? Because when they process you for onboarding, it clicks up that there is a situation with your application, which means you got to go downtown, pull that case, if you don't already have a copy of it, and submit that in to the law division for any job, especially if you want to work a city job. The post office know all your business. When I had even applied to work out in Harvey, they knew everything from the time I went to captain school. They did. So you want to change your life and you want to change your ways, you got to listen to what Martin is saying, because these things will follow you in your adult life. And then you will be like, I can't get a job. Well, it's because you had this. That's why they're having a lot of the expungement programs to expunge a lot of stupid stuff that you probably done. And it could have been, real minor, but in the eyes of the law, it ain't minor to them. So you have to think ahead that if you want to work for the city, the state, or the federal government, you got to know that path is going to be there. And you got to be able to know how to deal with that. Because sometime later in life, you should want to have a better job. You want to be able to have the best education, That way you can be able to live a decent life, have property, own a house, own you a building where you can be a landlord. These are the projections that you should want to have, so you can be able to have these things. So that's what I want to add, Martin.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go to this new caller. Hey, new caller, 1605. Thank you for being so patient with us. We long-winded tonight, but thank you for tuning in. You're free to talk.
Hey, what's going on, Marty?
Hey, how you doing?
How you feeling? All right.
Let
me say this.
I'm glad to be living. Go ahead, my brother. Now, matter of fact, hold on. Before you start talking.
Hey, I have a couple of, let me say this.
Go ahead, Doc.
There's a lot of families that have not got closure to these cases that's been unsolved, right?
Right.
And for them to get any type of hope of 200 trained detectives to come in, that's a blessing to them. I have been at these meetings 15, 16, almost 20 years that they have not got closure to who killed their loved ones. They get here, either it's a shortage or, like you said, don't call back, or now they got, each district got a liaison. For them to hear that they're going to get 200 more detectives to help them out if Brandon wins, that's a plus for them.
And like you said, that's
especially when you don't have no closure.
Right, and that's a great start. And that's a good start. That's a plus. And let me piggyback what you said, my dear brother. Let me just say that's a good start. And I'm telling you, talk to some of these grieving parents. They'll tell you. They just want to know why. Who did this? What happened? They want to know. They want to look the killer in the face. Why did you kill my son? Why did you kill my daughter? He was your best friend. Why did you do that? Parents want to know. They want to know, people, and they have that right to know. They are tax-paying citizens. Okay? Chicago
and,
police. Go ahead, bro.
To get it, Marty, it's a blessing for them, and then the sister was talking about the restorative justice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where is it? It sounds like a good idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at these kids, let's go with the juveniles, right? These juveniles taking lives. And when they doing it, they getting a slap on the wrist. They get house arrest till it's over with. Then they get probation. And that's like a badge of honor to them.
Yep.
And then how can a grieving family that stand there and look at a juvenile when he told to tell you to apologize for taking your child's life and he can't do it? How do we supposed to react to that?
Martin, can I comment since he responded to what I said?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I appreciate what you just said, and I think it's true, right? And I don't believe restorative justice should be mandated or forced on nobody, especially when you've lost a loved one, a child. That's not something you can force nobody to do. It's a choice. It should always be the choice of the victims and the victims' families, for sure. So I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that restorative justice should go as deep as we can make it go. Meaning that there's a difference between just sitting a young person who is steeped in a mentality about, oh, this is all fun and games, ha ha ha, badge of honor, and just saying, say you sorry, just say you sorry, and then letting them go, versus doing some deep stuff. Like, you have to visit this grave every day for a year. And you have to help clean it up. You have to also hear about the person you killed. You have to hear about their life. You have to hear about what made us laugh. You had to hear about all the things that we hoped for them. You have to hear about who you took for a whole year straight. And you have to actually sit with that every day. And then at the end of that year, we'll see where you at mentally wise. Do you still think it's funny? Do you still think it's cute? Do you not actually see this as a human being anymore? Like, then we can see who's who. We can separate the wheat from the chaff after something like that. But I feel
let me cut you. Let me say this.
That are willing to do it, we should do it.
Let me say this to you. And, you can forgive, but you can't forget. You know what I mean? That pain never go away.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's not about...
I have it. See, I have experience in it. My son was killed 2013 by a 15-year-old.
I remember.
Playing with a gun. Took my son's life. I knew the kid. So the kid told me to go to school, everything, because I felt he was a good kid. I can forget. I can forgive him, but I can't forget. Like now, he's trying to play football. He's trying to do this. But Dion was cut off at 13. Dion didn't get that chance to follow his dream to play basketball or to run track. See, it's hard with that pain. Like me, I took the pain and I turned it into something positive with his foundation, right? But other parents that haven't got closure, right? Or even that went through of just seeing that person in court, right? When all the hugs and kisses is gone and we got your back, right? That pain is still there. I still have pain. I still pain. I still wake up thinking about Dion. You know, so
and I understand what you're saying because Xavier's mother.
The judge told that kid, look at Mr. Williams and Miss Prophet and tell them you sorry for taking Dion's life. He said he wasn't. What was more disrespectful?
Wow.
She told the mother. They told the mother to apologize to us, right? She looked at us. Now the father stepped up, apologized, talked to me. Man, he was sincere, had tears in his eyes because he said that if the shoe was on her foot, he would hate him. But it's hard. Not only did I lose Dion, a year later, Marty could tell you this, I lost his mom. She took her life because she missed her baby. Like she said, I beat cancer, I did this and I did that, right? And she took her life. And she was getting mental health, she was doing everything. I still talk to a counselor because I still got to deal with this.
Right.
Absolutely.
I meet with families. We meet with families. Part of a city leadership program for us that lost loved ones, right? And I listen to these families. It's just like I tell them, Dion case is closed. They solved Dion case quick, thanks to Marty, thanks to Messi and them. Because at first the boy was gonna walk away. But I reached out to Marty. Marty got me in front of some people, that got me to the right person. Messi stepped up, Good Kids, Mad City. These different people had my back. They helped me keep the pressure on where these people didn't do that, and I thank them for it. But what about the families that couldn't do what I did? And I listened to them. I listened to the police saying that, well, call me next week, or we're going to get back to you, or your case is too old, and we talking about the cases that's going on now. That's a hard pill for them to swallow.
Yeah, I remember.
I think the restored justice will work. I think it'll work, sister. So I'm not down in it, right? I think it's a good idea, right? But I'm just a father that's got experience, right? And I just want to give you my opinion on it, that it'll be hard. It'll be hard to actually sit across from a young man without wanting to choke the hell out of him.
Absolutely. And I'm so sorry. What's your name?
Hold on. I'll introduce. Yeah, he'll be out there with us too. Yeah. Let me just say this, parents. Let me just say this.
Don.
Yeah. Let me just say this. Now, the brother is 100% truth. Telling 100% truth. I reached out to him. I've been knowing him before I had children. He'll tell you that. He'd know that. We go back a long way in the street together. Let me just say this, people. That's why I tell people, y'all talking about you don't need no extra 200 detectives. The brother said he's in a group. What about the other parents that didn't get closure to their case? When I say closure, problem solved. That's what a crime solved, their loved one solved. That's what I mean. So don't listen. Here is it. Your son been dead, or your daughter got killed here in the city of Chicago, and you call in the detective, and the detective tell you, hey, that case too old, we're not working on it no more. That what kind of, and you paying taxes, and you an outstanding citizen. That's hurt, people. This is what I'm talking about. Only in the Black community. Now, we know Chicago police can solve crime. They have shown us over and over when it comes to one of theirs. They shown us now.
Now, let me say this. Let me say this, y'all. There's some good police out there, right? But, we talking about these detectives, in which some of them probably need to be retired. But they don't give a care attitude when it comes to these families. And these families are being disrespected. You know, we got to stand with them. That's why I stands with them. Even though Deion case is closed, I still stand with them families. You know, because we all been put into a club that we don't want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So
Well, you know,
I hope
that's
y'all
what
come out
happened
with
in Delaware.
I just can I say real quick, just responding to Don.
Okay, I got another caller too, y'all. Go ahead, make it quick because I got another caller. Go ahead.
I'm gonna close it.
I just want to respond to
I'll
you,
let you go
Don,
next,
because
Dr.
I just
Sanders.
want to first off thank you for sharing your story. Thank you, and I'm sorry, Dr. Sanders, because I really want to hear from you as well. But Don, thank you for sharing your story. I want to recognize Deion right now. I feel that type of. I personally work in gun violence prevention, particularly with youth. I'm the community organizer for St. Sabina. We do the funerals for kids who've been killed for free.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to more young people's funerals than I've been to graduation. And I've had to hear mothers and fathers wailing at caskets, seeing caskets that's way too small. So I hear you so much, and I don't know why I feel Deion right now. I don't know your son, and I'm like getting emotional. I like feel him right now. And like
You
what
know, so
I feel is
I
that
thank you.
Yeah, I feel him. And I work with a group called Purpose Over Pain, which is mostly mothers who have lost children to gun violence. And they are in the same position as you. You know them well, yes. And they do incredible work. And I have a 3-year-old myself. And I was like maybe last year, I was at a gas station where gunfire opened up at the gas station. I had to duck down in my car. Thank God my baby happened to not be with me that day, but the car seat was still in the car. And I thought I couldn't sleep for days because I thought about a strategy of how I would have got him out the car seat and down fast enough without getting shot myself, him getting shot. And like, I was panicking.
Okay.
So I'm like,
Erica,
my God, my baby could have been shot if you just happened to be with me that day. And so
you got to write it down.
Hey, Marty, can
yep.
I leave y'all? Marty, can I leave y'all with one thing before I hang up? Right?
Come on, hurry up, bro, because I got another call.
No parent to have to do what I did.
Okay.
And that's to tuck my son in for the last time and kiss him. So, you know, do what we got to do. Let's stand together. Marty, thanks for letting me on. I'm going to dip off like always. Y'all stay safe.
All right, Dr. Sanders, go ahead, then.
See y'all win.
Thank you, Don.
Okay, see you wins. Dr. Sanders.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Dr.
so much.
Sanders.
And I don't want to
Erica,
Dr.
Erica,
Sanders, go ahead.
Erica. Dr. Sanders' turn now. I understand. I'll introduce you to him when you come out that Wednesday. Dr. Sanders, she wanted to say something. Go ahead. Then we're going to go to the new caller. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders.
I remember the Kiara Cole. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I remember Kiara Cole when her mom, Karen, was devastated about her daughter's disappearance. We only saw the video of the young lady. Never found her body. Martin sat outside for days trying to be there to help. I remember during my time when I was in college, I was actually doing prison ministry training under the late Mother Consuela York. The man that killed her husband, she took that anger and she put it right back into the prison system, which made her very popular with the inmates and being trained to work with that same criminal that killed her husband. Nobody knew that. It's a devastating moment when Xavier's body was, we heard the gunshot and went out there and he was dead. He's the same age as my son. Okay. That's a hard thing for a parent. And as the gentleman said earlier, you want to slap the dog beat out of somebody and be happy that you did it. So when I listen to how he's feeling, that brought Martin back, Kiara Cole, which her body still has not been found today. This is what's happening.
Okay.
This is real. This is real life.
Okay.
I have a daughter, 31. So it's hard, but I'm glad that he is getting the help that he needs. But a lot of parents are not going to do anything until they take the law into their own hands. And I understand. I don't want to bury my children. I have 6 of them, 18 to 38. I don't want to bury none of them. And God has blessed me to keep them, to be here. But, we still, as you said, Martin, cases have not been solved. Who killed Kiara Cole? We can't find her.
Yeah.
Martin worked on this thing for months and cannot find her. So, like you said, Martin, earlier about the police, about the detectives, yeah, we need probably double that a much more in detectives because somebody knows where her body is.
Yeah. All right, let me get this new caller. I mean, he been holding on for a minute. Man, I'm sorry, new caller. This new caller called at 9 o'clock, 9:09. It's 10 something. Go ahead, Reb. I think that's you. Go ahead, Reb. 6112. Come on, caller.
What's going on,
man?
Mark?
Listen, I want to apologize,
What's
man.
up, everybody?
Hey, how you doing? I want to apologize for having you holding on for so long, man. But it's such deep, and it's real. Go ahead, my brother. Any way you want to start, it's okay with me.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Everybody listening in. It's an interesting conversation tonight. Unfortunately, I blend right in with it tonight. It's kind of hard. I literally lost my nephew just last night around 2:30 this morning, in the wee hours of the morning, due to gun violence. It wasn't here in Chicago. It was in Elkhart, Indiana. So it's kind of crazy because I had him here with me in May. He pretty much ran here. He was going through some personal things. He ran here to the release. You know what I'm saying? Gave him a job, and things like that, and tried to talk to him. And 22, 23 years old, but ended up going back there, getting caught up this past August or something, and the day, did. So it's like, you're talking about the gun violence. These kids out here, man, like this mental thing that these kids deal with, because I just picture him as I was listening to you guys speak. This mental thing that these kids is dealing with. It's not autism. It's not stuff like that. This is trauma. Like, it's the worst kind because inside their mind, they're thinking things that's really not true, but in their reality, it's the world. It's the way it is. So when you're talking about counseling these people, it's like you got to get these kids starting at the age of 6, 7, 8 years old, when you still got their mind to teach them the value, when they're still questioning and asking questions on why this and why that. When they get up to the point where they're 16, 17, 18, up in their 20s,
too late.
Can't reach them. I'm just thinking about, I'm thinking about my nephew right now and how he was so far out there, tattoos all over him, and the mindset on how he didn't care about the value of life, the trauma that he'd been through the loss of his sister. When she was just young, 12 years old, 11 years old, due to asthma. The trauma of the loss of his auntie, who was 30-some years old due to violence. Innocent lady who, a young man, 13 years old, just decided to shoot up their house, and she the only one out of everybody that was shot in the head. The traumatization, now he have cousins and sisters and brothers and nieces and nephews that's, traumatized by the due of his passing. You gotta, so at the same time, you got people that's older, that's like, everybody don't handle death the same today. They don't even respect it as we lay to rest those that go to the graveyard. They don't respect it in a generation, but everybody don't handle it the same. They don't respect the traffic of the dead leading the loved ones to their final resting place. It's like you look at today, and it's we can't sit up there and not look for the voice of justice and crying out to how our lives and our culture have been monetized. Note that it's been sold, it's been colonized to the point of we believe and we deal with the trauma issues that faces us in the reality of life, but nobody taught us how to deal with the counseling and how to like they say you can have a baby, but they don't write no book on how to take care of the child. And we are dealing with issues in life that there's no book and there's no manual to help us. There's no doctor, no counselors. I heard someone say something about, before I just started speaking, I heard someone say something about it's going to take those that really been through the reality, the professionals, of knowing what these young people are facing and the mistakes that we thought about that we did in the past. Man, just losing my nephew last night made me think about a lot. Like, what's the choice that we made? And we could say that when we was out there doing it, we was doing it for a reason. Today it seems like they're not. But look, whatever reason we did, we led them up to the point of where they at, to the point where it was no reason at all. So it's like, it's just sad, and it's man, as the real people, the real leaders, man, like the people that's not scared to walk up to the young man who got a relationship with these young men and these young women, you know, talking to them every day, giving them hope, because they look for love, man. They look for hope. They hurt, they traumatized. It's this mental thing that's another level. It's not one of those mental issues like, you know, this is death, you know what I'm saying, to the point where they would die because that's all they don't care about life, you know. And it's all a mental state, it's all the state of mind and how they think or what they went through, the household that they came up in. You know, all that stuff plays a major role, you know, and we got to, instead of more talking about it, really think about it and find solutions, because it starts, you know, it's like we got to start with the generation that's coming up behind these young people that we see. Don't look at them to the point where we say that there's no hope or we can't help. No, we ain't going to help all of them, but we got a generation that's coming up behind them that we still got a chance, because, you know, we going to die one day, but the earth it goes on. You know what I'm saying? The earth, the Bible said that the earth remains forever. You know, so what kind of mark that we want to leave behind? You know, and for my nephew, it's like the mark that he left behind. He was loved by many. He was hated by a few. But what fruit was bear? You know what I'm saying? What people going to be doing at his grave site? How they going to be remembering them? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. These kids dying with no value. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they man, you feel me? Like look up his Facebook and you know what I'm saying? One like, man, you know, somebody will look at his Facebook like, okay, he deserved it because he got a gun in his pocket. You know, it's like we gotta find our kids in a different area. You know what I'm saying? We can't judge them. We gotta find them in a different area